Dear students, welcome to virtual classroom of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. I am Sreekumar. The class is for 9th standard students. Subject is mathematics. Let me begin the class. Dear students, we are continuing with the same chapter and we are almost at the conclusion of the chapter, ratio and proportion. We have already come across the concepts like ratio and then about properties of ratios, operation on equal ratio, theorem of equal ratios. What is remaining is continued proportion and K method. On that this video is. Those who have not gone through the previous video, or those who have not spent time with the previous video and try to understand that, may please do that before further going in this video, because it is a continuation of it. So in the beginning you studied about direct proportion, then inverse proportion. I think you remember it. Direct proportion where x upon y is a constant, inverse proportion x into y is a constant, and the properties of ratio, number of properties, and checking that the cross multiplication will be giving same answer if the ratios are equal, and comparison of ratios in that way, like which side you are getting greater, that side the ratio will be greater. And operation on equal ratios, you studied a lot of relationship, and you studied about the concept of invertendo, alternando, componendo, dividendo, componendo, dividendo. These were names, but basically you understood that by inverting the ratio, its ratio will be maintaining its equality. In altering the numerators, it will be maintaining the equality. Adding denominator to the numerator also will be component, that also will be addition of denominator to the numerator on both sides, will not change the equality of the ratios, and as well as dividend or the subtraction you studied, and a combination of that also you studied. That was the second video, and I think you should have seen that. Now we have something very important left, that is theorem on equal ratios. Equal ratios are the most important aspect on which all these properties are connected with. Here is an equal ratio which is put as A upon B. A upon P is equal to C upon D. The theorem on equal ratio says that if you add A plus C and B plus D, then that also will be maintaining the same ratio. As always, instead of giving you more complicated or more difficult explanation on this, just like how did I explain you the concept of invertendo, dividendo, componendo, and alternando, I would like to use the same technique here, and the textbook is having a very good example on this. Example in the sense that with the help of x and y, but I will be using a simple thing which you can easily understand. Now let me, if I could take the same 3 upon 4 is equal to 6 upon 8. This was what I had taken that time, I think, last video. So now we will apply this particular thing over there, where we will be simply adding both denominators, that is 3 plus 6 and 4 plus 8. Whether this will be accordingly, it will become it will be equal to 9 upon 12. Again it will be equal to 3 upon 4. So this particular ratio can be accepted by us very simply. So this is another relationship you can accept, or another kind of ratio between the equal ratios, or theorem on equal ratios says that if you add the denominator, the numerators, and if you add the denominators, that also maintain the ratio. And this is very clearly logically explained in your textbook, in page number 71 of the textbook. You can use that. Okay, so that is what is the first aspect which I have to tell you this video. Then we will move on to other aspects what are mentioned in the textbook. Before that, let me clear the screen. Okay, we will have further about it. Further in the sense that there is a concept of continued proportion coming. Inverse proportion and direct proportion you studied, and comparison of ratio you studied, properties of equal ratios you studied, now theorem of equal ratios you studied. Here comes something called continued proportion. What is it? Let us consider the ratios 4 is to 12 and 12 is to 36. Two ratios are given, and we are asked to think about they are equal ratios. They are equal ratios. In the two ratios, the successor, that is the second term is called successor, of the first ratio is equal to the predecessor of the first term. तो हम लिखेगा तो ऐसा है 4 is to 12 and 12 is to 36. So this is the successor. In this case, this is the predecessor. This is the successor, this is the predecessor. The successor of the first ratio and the predecessor of the second ratio are equal. In such a situation, we say 4 is to 12 is to 36 is a continued proportion. बराबर है ना? Even if you write in this format 4 upon 12, okay, and 12 upon 36, क्या है मतलब? Into 3 into 3, and here say, so we can say it as a continued proportion. This is the new concept coming into your mind. Okay, if they are in continued proportion, it has got a lot of applications, lot of situations where it will help us to understand a situation better. Understood? So let me see what is given in the textbook further about this. It is given how to explain this using A, B, C are continued proportion. Continued proportion का मतलब क्या हो गया? अभी आपको समझ में आया? इसका मतलब ये हो गया A upon B is equal to B upon C. तभी हम ऐसा लिखेंगे. Then B is known as, B जो common is known as geometric mean of A and C और mean proportional of A and C. एक term है. हमको ये भी याद है A into C is equal to in this case B square. Correct? ये हमको मालूम. A upon B is equal to B upon C है तो B square is A C ये correct है and A B C are continued proportion. 2-3 things एक साथ हमारे दिमाग में आया. And B is geometry means product of it. B is a geometric mean of A and C means A into C का geometric mean. B is the mean proportion of A and C. Another way of putting it. We can generalize the concept of continued proportion. उसका एक universal application ऐसा होता है. A upon B if equal to A upon B if is equal to B upon C and it is equal to C upon D and it is equal to D upon E is equal to E upon F. इधर सब ये चलता रहेगा देखो. Then we will say that A, B, C, D, E, F are said to be in continued proportion. याद रखो. It's very important. They are in continued proportion. You may take a little time to grasp this. Simple but important. किधर important है मालूम है? Application level questions आएगा, competitive exam में आएगा, तभी सब ये continued proportion बहुत आपको help करने वाला है. Tools, I always have told that algebra will give you tools. सब tools सब जगह पे याद नहीं आएगा तो practice से आएगा, लेकिन tools बहुत है. प्रैक्टिस है हमारा बड़े वो टूल्स कभी कौन सा टूल्स लेना है. चलो we'll go ahead to see that what is more to understand. All these are situation of understanding. Doing is a different job which you will be doing. Continued proportion का एक situation बनाया है. There are simple examples in your textbook. वो मैंने लिया नहीं, example आपको खुद देख के समझना है. वो बहुत easy भी. अभी here is a question. Which number should be subtracted from 7, 12 and 18? कौन सा number इसे subtract करने से क्या होगा? The resultant numbers are continued proportion. The certain number continued proportion मतलब a upon b is equal to b upon c which is equal to ac is equal to b square. ये फॉर्मेट में बैठना मांगते हैं तभी वो continued proportion में होगा. And it is not like that now. Already उन्होंने बताया. But by subtracting something it will become. वो भी उन्होंने बताया. वो something हमको मालूम नहीं वो something कितना है पूछ रहा हूँ. तो we are subtracting x from not the 3. And वो continued proportion में आए वो x हम ढूंढ के जा रहे हैं and this is the geometric mean. So just like b square 2l minus x whole square ले लिया a into c की जगह पे this is a this is c this is b तो a इधर आया c इधर आया multiplication कर दिया. This look like a minus b whole square तो हमने उसका expansion डाला. करेक्ट. एक्सपेंशन लिखने के बाद इधर देखो तो 7 into 18 7 into minus x into 18 minus into minus ये सब करके हमको ये भी एक्सपैंड हो गया. All are in terms of x and let us bring all x on to one side. We reach to this stage minus 24x here है x square here there is a minus 25x will become plus 25x. Ultimately, we got the answer x is equal to minus 18. मतलब 7 से 12 से 18 से अगर आप minus 18 करेगा तो जो मिलता है that would be in continued proportion. उससे हमको मतलब नहीं हमको ये concept क्लियर करना है अपने आप को और दूसरों को. वो ऐसा सिचुएशन है 7 minus 18 आपको subtract करेंगे. You know that a negative number will be created and those are not important here but this is the answer. Okay, so you will apply this concept whenever required so that if you want I just can like we can check this 7 minus 18 means add the opposite means this will become plus and it will become 25. Add the opposite this will become 30 and add the opposite will become 36. 25 upon 30 is equal to 30 upon 36. A continued proportion again. This is equal to 5 5s are 25, 6 5s are 30, 5 6 are 30, 6 6 are 30. तो ये possible. ये checking आपको बताया नहीं मैं आपको comfortable मतलब to make it believe that whatever we got is right. कभी कभी check करके जाएगा तो confidence बढ़ता है ना. Okay, we will go ahead. This is from your textbook. You can look into the textbook for understanding it better. There is another thing mentioned in your textbook. It is K method for solving examples based on equal ratios. Equal proportion. In this example, we use some method called K method where we say that A upon B method ऐसा है. मेथड का मतलब आपको पहले भी मालूम है. A upon B is equal to C upon D है तो मतलब there is a common K for comparison. So you convert the given equation into that K format and write the equation A is equal to if A upon B is equal to K, हमको मालूम है A is equal to BK, ऐसा लिखने का. And substitute in the case of A, BK, and in the case of C also DK. When you substitute that, you will see that the equal ratios respond. बाकी तो आपका algebraic common sense है. Wherever A is there, you will apply BK. देखो. Wherever C is there, you will put DK. And thereby what happened? Everything is equal to a constant. We know that. Left hand side is written here, right hand side is written here, and both are equal to K. We will write and we get that left hand side of the ratio is equal to the right hand side of the ratio. because we know that A B upon B is also equal to K, C upon D is also equal to K. We get the equation if this particular one is it comes in that at last when you reach here you can see that 5A this is equal to this one. We can prove it. How could we prove it? You can see that this became common here. दोनों same है ना? दोनों I will remove it and show you. Look at this particular situation where you can see that this is equal to this is equal to this, we will cancel it and we prove this. Okay, so my dear students, we are concluding the chapter of what we say, the ratio and proportion, and we got the idea that partition by different types of proportion. Now this video help you to understand the concept of continuous to proportion. Continuous proportion is of greatest use, I already told you. Thank you.
Now click on the subscription button below to subscribe the channel, then the bell button to get the notifications of the new videos. Thank you.